It's 11 p.m. The deadline is tomorrow morning. You've known about this for 3 weeks, and somehow you just spent the last 4 hours reorganizing your bookshelf, watching a documentary about deep sea creatures, and cleaning a kitchen you don't even cook in. Sound familiar? We call this procrastination, like it's a productivity problem, like the fix is just a better to-do list app. But here's the thing. Procrastination isn't about time management at all. It's about emotions. And once you understand that, everything about how you fight it changes. For decades, the popular explanation was simple. Procrastinators are lazy, undisciplined, or bad at planning. Just try harder. Use a planner. Set an alarm. But researchers who study this, people like Dr. Tim Pitchell at Carleton University and Dr. Fuchsia Sirois, found something surprising. Procrastinators aren't less motivated or less capable. Many are highly intelligent, ambitious people who procrastinate on the exact things they care about most. If it were really about laziness, you'd procrastinate equally on everything. But most people don't procrastinate on scrolling social media, texting a friend back, or watching a show they love. They procrastinate on the report, the workout, the difficult conversation, the tax return. So the question isn't, why are you lazy? The real question is, why do you avoid this specific thing? Here's the core idea, and it's going to reframe everything. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It's an emotion management problem. When you sit down to do a task that feels boring, stressful, confusing, or threatening to your self-esteem, your brain registers that as a genuine negative feeling. And your brain's oldest, most automatic move for negative feelings is get rid of them right now. Opening Twitter for 2 minutes doesn't fix the report, but it does immediately reduce the unpleasant feeling of facing it. So your brain learns avoidance equals relief. That relief is a real reward, and your brain will keep chasing it. This is why willpower lectures don't work. You're not fighting a logic problem. You're fighting a short-term emotional trade your brain makes automatically, thousands of times a day, usually without you noticing. There's also the concept researchers call temporal discounting. Basically, your brain treats your future self almost like a stranger. The version of you who has to deal with the consequences tomorrow feels distant and abstract. The version of you feeling uncomfortable right now feels extremely real. So present you keeps handing off problems to future you, who, by the way, is not thrilled about it. Let's get specific. Psychologists have identified a handful of task qualities that reliably trigger procrastination. If a task hits one or more of these, your brain is far more likely to avoid it. 1. Boredom. Tasks that feel tedious or repetitive get pushed off in favor of anything more stimulating. 2. Frustration. If a task is confusing or you don't know where to start, the uncertainty itself feels unpleasant. 3. Difficulty. The bigger and more complex a task looks, the more overwhelming it feels, and overwhelm triggers avoidance. 4. Ambiguity. Tasks with unclear instructions or unclear done points are easy to keep pushing because there's no obvious first step. 5. Lack of meaning or reward. If a task feels disconnected from anything you actually care about, your brain sees little reason to prioritize it now. And here's a sixth one that doesn't get talked about enough: fear of failure or judgment. Sometimes we don't procrastinate because a task is hard. We procrastinate because finishing it means finding out whether we're actually good enough. As long as it's unfinished, it can still be perfect in our imagination. That's a very human, very understandable defense mechanism. It's also a trap. Once you see procrastination as emotional avoidance instead of a character flaw, 2 things happen. First, the shame drops away. Beating yourself up for procrastinating actually makes it worse. Studies on self-compassion and procrastination, including work by Dr. Sirois, found that people who forgive themselves for procrastinating are less likely to procrastinate again on the same task. Guilt doesn't motivate you. It just adds another negative feeling to the pile you're already avoiding. Second, you stop trying to fix the wrong problem. You don't need a better calendar app. You need a way to make starting feel less emotionally costly. So what actually works? A few evidence-backed strategies. Shrink the first step. Not write the report. Instead, open the document and write one sentence. The goal is to lower the emotional cost of starting, because starting is where almost all the resistance lives. Use implementation intentions. Instead of, "I'll work on this tomorrow," decide exactly when and where. At 9 a.m. at my desk, I will work on this for 20 minutes. Specificity removes the ambiguity that fuels avoidance. Make the task less abstract. Connect it to your future self directly. Some researchers have people literally picture their future self dealing with the consequences. It sounds small, but it closes the emotional distance that lets you off the hook right now. Practice self-compassion, not self-criticism. When you slip up, respond the way you'd respond to a friend, not a drill sergeant. Redesign your environment. Remove the easy escape routes. Put your phone in another room. Close extra tabs. So the path of least resistance points toward the task, not away from it. None of these are magic, but they all target the actual mechanism, the emotional discomfort of starting, not a lack of information about deadlines. So the next time you catch yourself reorganizing a bookshelf instead of doing the thing you actually need to do, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What feeling am I avoiding right now?" That question alone puts you back in control. If this helped you understand your own patterns a little better, hit subscribe. I'm covering more of the psychology behind everyday habits like this one. And let me know in the comments, what's the task you're procrastinating on right now? Maybe saying it out loud is the first step. See you in the next video. Subscribe and like the video.